Today on WBLN News, Rodrigo Bustamante stops by to talk to us about representing the global youth at the UN. President Obama meets with Vladimir Putin, and the 6th grade basketball team is still undefeated. All this and more coming up right now.
Good morning, Belen. I'm Alejandro Guerrero.
And I'm Stephen Kayes, and welcome to this edition of WBLN. Here are your news for today, September 29th, 2015. Yesterday at the United Nations headquarters in New York, the 70th season of the UN General Assembly took place. Here, many world leaders met and spoke about trending issues. But first, today we are lucky to have Rodrigo Bustamante in studio with us. We go to Alejandro Guerrero, who is in set with him now.
Hey, Rodrigo, how are you, man?
I'm very good, thank you.
Okay, so Rodrigo, you were one of two teenagers with the immense privilege to represent the global youth at the UN Sustainable Development Summit in New York this past weekend. How'd you get chosen?
So for about a year now, I've been writing for Voices of Youth, which is an initiative that UNICEF started around 1995 for youth around the world. They have like over 80 countries that are represented through this platform, and I've been writing for them for about a year now. I still don't really know why me out of all the kids that were there, but when I got the email saying that they wanted me to be there, I was in shock.
That's awesome. And you said in your blog that although every moment of the summit left you in awe, there were 10 most inspiring moments. Can you tell us like your top two?
Well, for sure, the first one would definitely have to be the Beckham event that I did. David Beckham has been a UN Goodwill Ambassador, so they have got celebrities that aren't not elected but chosen to be part of the General Assembly. They're just people that really want to work. So you've been a Goodwill Ambassador for a decade now, and he unveiled the new installation in the heart of the General Assembly, which is called the Youth Assembly. And of Noor, which is the girl that I was with from Virginia, and myself, we were chosen to give a speech next to him, the Secretary General, and Anthony Lake, the Executive Director of UNICEF, and we gave a speech with them. And it was just inspiring just because ever since I was little, this is something that I'd always wanted to do. I'd always wanted to work at the UN, and I thought it would happen when I was 30 or 40 later on in life, but happening at 17 was ridiculous. And my second one would probably be meeting a Syrian refugee. On my second day there, I had the privilege of meeting her. Her name is Samin. When she left Syria, she came here to the United States for a 6-week summit for leadership, and before she knew it, she could never go back there. And it just showed us that we have to act on this. This is the largest humanitarian crisis of our time, and we really need to act.
You talked about having the privilege of giving a speech. Let's take a look at what you spoke about.
Every day, children are living in poverty, experiencing the effects of inequality, suffering from exploitation, and fearing the instability present in their homeland. Amidst these challenges, children still hope for a future where they can fulfill their dreams of becoming doctors, astronauts, politicians, and authors. The ratification of the new Sustainable Development Goals will help us build the world we so desperately want and need. I dream of the day when all the goals have been achieved, when world poverty has been eradicated, when gender equality has been attained, when world peace has been the reality. Now, I dream of every child achieving and living throughout their childhood. And furthermore, I want every child to have a dream. To complete these objectives, education has to be the priority, because the past cannot be altered, but the future can. More powerful than guns, bombs, and discrimination, education liberates children from a world full of despair and injustice, and furthermore, it creates a movement of hope. Today marks the beginning of this movement. It is time for the world to rally behind the youth, and furthermore, it is time that we, the youth, begin to create the world of our dreams. Our worlds have reconciled. Our voices for change must be heard. Thank you.
Well, Noor and Rodrigo are here with us today.
Great speech, by the way. And what would you say to students who want to get involved in some capacity with this initiative?
Well, for sure, first, I think that students need to get out of their comfort zone. I think that's really important because I didn't ever think that something like this would happen to me. And I think that it's important that we raise our voices because all the people that I met there genuinely cared about our interests as the youth. And I think it's important that together we collectively raise our voices. Like I said at the end of my speech, like we are in this together. This isn't just about me. It was just as much about the other children around the world as it was about like my experience there. Like I was representing them, and hopefully I hope I did a good job representing them and their plights.
And what do you think is next for you in your involvement with UNICEF?
So I'm applying also to go back in around February, so we'll see how that goes. And for right now, I'm working on some projects with my own organization called Dando Pasos. We're working on like producing a book where we compile the stories of different students, where they tell us like what's one message they want to share with the world. And I'm also going to be working on a video where people say like what's their favorite sustainable development goal.
All right, Rodrigo, thank you for giving us the time.
Thank you so much.
The coming month of October is Respect Life Month. Beginning on the 1st, the Respect Life Club will start selling baby footprint lapel pins for $5. The club is also coordinating a group to participate in the Life Chain on October 4th. For more information, please contact Ms. Susie Corzo. In other news, yesterday at the United Nations headquarters in New York, the 70th session of the UN General Assembly took place. U.S. President Barack Obama and President Xi Jinping of China, Vladimir Putin of Russia, Iran's Hassan Rouhani, and Cuba's Raul Castro all spoke. But it was the superpower standoff. Amid open and bitter disagreement over the war in Syria, President Obama and Russian President Vladimir Putin delivered dueling speeches at the United Nations. It took 14 seconds to make a statement, without a single word uttered, and a stiff and choreographed handshake between the two of the most powerful people in the world, President Obama and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Yesterday, the president slammed Putin's apparent strategy for defeating ISIS, saying, "In accordance with this logic, we should support tyrants like Bashar al-Assad, who drops barrel bombs to massacre innocent children, because the alternative is surely worse." The United States supports Syrian rebels, but Putin says the only way to beat ISIS is to back Assad and share intelligence with Iraq, Iran, and Syria. Vladimir Putin said, "No one but President Assad's armed forces and Kurds militia are truly fighting the Islamic State and other terrorist organizations in Syria." Despite differences, Obama says he's open to working with Russia and Iran, which is why these two leaders are talking face-to-face in their first meeting since this encounter more than 2 years ago. Before Russia invaded Ukraine and became isolated from the West, something Obama wants the United Nations to remember.
Also at the United Nations is currently involved in 16 peacekeeping operations around the world. Yesterday, President Barack Obama told the UN Peacekeeping Summit the United States plans to double the number of U.S. military officers serving in those operations. President Barack Obama said, "Today I'm issuing new presidential guidance, the first in more than 20 years, to expand our support for UN peace operations." President Obama said the U.S. will undertake new engineering projects and will offer logistical support where possible. Now, Stephen, what's going on around our hallway?
Well, Alejandro, today's a busy day after school, so let's check it out. The chess team will meet this entire week at 3 p.m. in room F208. The Music Appreciation Society will be holding a jam session Tuesday at 3 p.m. in the Ignatian Center Music Room. If you do not bring your own instrument, you will not be able to play. The Science National Honor Society will be meeting Tuesday at 3 p.m. in the Cosquihuela Dining Room. Speech and Debate will meet Tuesday and Thursday in room F210. The Robotics Club will be meeting Tuesday and Thursday in room I-121 at 3 p.m. The History Club will meet Tuesday at 3:05 in room H221. The Green Club will meet at Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the second floor in the Science Pavilion. The Belen Bocce Club will meet Thursday at 3 p.m. in room F202. The Key Club will be meeting Thursday at 3 p.m. in the Cosquihuela Dining Room. Rho Kappa will be meeting Friday at 3 p.m. in room H211. And the Model UN will be meeting Friday at 3 p.m. in room H213. The Film Club will meet Thursday at 3 p.m. in room C203. Attention all 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students. If you're currently in an honors or AP math class and have a 3.5 cumulative GPA, then you can join Mu Alpha Theta this year. The application and all pertinent information is available on the BLN website under Student Life and Clubs and Activities. The National Beta Club initiative to help the homeless in our community is almost over. You still have time to donate by donating travel-sized toiletries. These donations may be dropped off in the main office or with Ms. Sosa in room G202. Now stay tuned as we bring you weather and sports right after these messages.
We can be.
We must be
the first generation
to end extreme poverty.
The generation
most determined
to fight injustice
and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done.
The global goals.
A 15-year plan
For everyone, everywhere.
With no one left behind.
We will live in a world
where nobody
anywhere lives in extreme poverty.
Where no one
goes hungry.
Where no one wakes in the morning
asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world where no child has to die
of diseases we know how to cure.
And where proper health care
is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world
where everyone goes to school.
And education gives us the knowledge
and skills
for a fulfilling life.
We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities
to thrive
and be powerful
and safe.
We cannot succeed if half the world is headed back.
We will live in a world
where all people can get clean water
and proper toilets
at home,
at school,
and at work.
We will live in a world where
there's sustainable energy for everyone.
Heat, light,
and power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We will live in a world where economies prosper.
And new wealth
leads to decent jobs
for everyone.
And we will live in a world
where our industry,
our infrastructure, and our
best innovations
are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
We will live in a world
where prejudices and extremes of inequality
are defeated.
Inside our countries
and between different countries.
Where people live in cities and communities
that are safe, progressive,
and support everyone who lives there.
Where we replace
what we consume.
Planet where we put back
what we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back the threat of
climate change.
Where we restore and protect the life in our oceans and seas.
We'll restore
and protect
life on land,
the forests,
animals, the earth itself.
With peace between and inside countries.
Where all governments are open.
And answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
With everyone equal before the law.
Where all countries and we their people
work together
in partnerships of all kinds
to make these goals a reality
for everyone, everywhere.
These are the United Nations global goals
for sustainable development.
Let's get to work.
Let's make it happen.
Now on to Mark Novus with the weather. Thank you, guys. This morning it's been pretty clear outside, but we should be seeing some late afternoon thunderstorms after 2 p.m. Let's take a look at your highs and lows for today. Today we should be seeing a high of 89 and a low of 76 with the relative humidity at 76%, winds coming in from the southwest at 8 miles per hour, and thunderstorms with a 90% chance of rain. Let's take a look at your next 3 days. For the next 3 days, we should be expecting highs in the high 80s and lows in the mid 70s, with high chances of rain for those 3 days. That's all for weather. Now back to you.
Thank you, Mark. Now here's Francisco Blanco with sports.
Michael Martelli had 8 points and 9 rebounds, and Carlos Morales contributed 8 points, 3 steals, and 2 blocks as the 6th grade basketball team defeated St. Teresa 48-7. Robert Castro added 6 points and 7 rebounds. Congratulations, guys. Last Friday, the bowling team participated in the Dade County Youth Fair tournament, finishing 14th in a field of 18. The Wolverines bowled a then-season best of 682 in their first game, with junior Michael Ahern and senior Jerry Trujillo setting personal best and scoring 164 and 166, respectively, despite losing yesterday to Dade's top team and tournament champion Miami Christian. The squad managed to set a new season high score of 703 in the first game. Senior Claudio Laratelli bowled a personal and team best of 202 in the last game and finished with a high series of 499, while 6th grader Justin Eckstein set a personal best of 122 in the third game. The Belen Middle School golf team shot a season best of 169 in their win over Palmer Trinity earlier today. The Wolverines were led by Andres Lutter with a score of 37. Andres Grande and Robbie Lizama also turned in low scores of 40 and 42, respectively, to propel Belen to a record of 3-1 overall. Tomorrow, the Belen Middle School team is playing the Cushman School at 4 p.m. at Trump National in Doral on the Silver Fox course. The volleyball blue and gold teams had to travel yesterday. The gold team beat St. Peter and Paul 2-1. The blue team had a hard time at St. Tim's, losing 2-0. The middle school football team plays at Doral. Game time is 6 p.m. The 6th grade football team plays Somerset. The game time is 4 p.m. Any student interested in joining the wrestling team is welcome to come out for tryouts until Friday. The practice will be held from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. Practice will be held in the wrestling room. That's all for sports. Now back to you guys.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook for all the latest news and pictures. I'm Alejandro Guerrero.
And I'm Stephen Calles. And on behalf of all of us here at WBLN, thanks for watching, and stay golden, Wolverines.